Hi guys, it's Lily, and today I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been pondering for a while, which is the differences and similarities between the Paperchase planners and Filofax planners. So I've had a Paperchase planner for a while. It was actually the first ring planner that I bought. Um, and obviously since then I've acquired quite a few Filofaxes, and they're very similar, but there are some important differences between them. So I thought that this might be useful for anybody who's considering buying a Paperchase planner. Um, if you've already had a Filofax and you'd kind of like to know what the pros and cons are, or the other way around. So I'm going to be using two personal size planners. This is actually a new acquisition. This is a Paperchase planner in personal size that I'm using as my kind of like just sort of personal daily stuff planner, and I'll do another setup video of that. And then this is my husband James's main planner. It's a springboard personal size Filofax. Um, and they're very similar in terms of size and you kind of what you get. So I thought it's a sort of nice it's a nice tool to use for comparison. So starting with the price, there's quite a big difference in price. I guess that's one of the sort of the main things that might make you think, is it worth spending more money for a Filofax? So this Paperchase planner, I think all of the Paperchase planners are the same price. The personal size is £16, which is probably about half the price of a personal size Filofax if you get it at full price. So that's a big difference. In terms of like materials, they're both made out of the same kind of material. So they're both PU, synthetic leather. In terms of the feel, obviously with Filofax you have quite a range. This is the kind of Saffiano type. The springboard is like I think it's a sort of special edition that's designed. It's like working in partnership with a reading charity, like a literacy charity. So the design is slightly different than the Saffiano, but other than that, it looks the same as the Saffiano. And this one is it's just the pattern that varies, but all of the synthetic leather Paperchase planners that I've seen have the same kind of sort of like pebbled look and feel to them. So the feeling is a bit different, but the stitching on both of them, it seems to me to be similar quality. This is, let's see if you can see the Paperchase stitching. It's in the same color. So this is like a sort of like teal, turquoise color. And then for this one, it's in the same kind of raspberry color as the outside. So I'd say the main difference is the texture, which is not like a matter of quality, it's just different textures. So depending on if you like the kind of smoother, Saffiano isn't completely smooth, but quite kind of smoothish, and this one is very pebbled feeling. I'd say that the Paperchase one feels more like kind of animal leather, because when I first was going to buy it I really wasn't sure, whereas this one I think you can tell that it's synthetic. The second difference is in the snap. So the Filofax closure has this snap. The Paperchase one is magnetic, so as soon as you sort of get it anywhere in the right area, it will close. And I really like that. I think that's a nice feature because you don't have to worry as much about sort of getting it exactly in the right position. It's not that big of a thing, but I think the magnetic thing is kind of a nice touch on the Paperchase one. So if we open them up, I think this is where you start to see the differences. They both have, I guess, a similar setup. Obviously with the Filofax, because you've got the different models, you'll have more variation than this, but this is like definitely, I think, like pretty standard. The Saffiano is similar to this in Filofax. So you get three like kind of slit pockets, and then you have a secretarial pocket. Whereas Paperchase, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slit pockets, and then you don't have a secretarial pocket. Instead, you have a full length pocket. I prefer secretarial pockets because I think it's easier to get things out, but again, that's just a matter of choice. Now, the thing, I don't know if you can see it here, but with the slip pockets, the Paperchase ones, I think definitely you can see that the quality is not as good. Let me see if I can bring this up closer. See how this is kind of fraying? And this is completely new. I just bought this a few days ago. So it's not like this has come from use. It was like this when I bought it. So it's not a big thing. It's just that this is kind of like rough and unfinished, whereas the Filofax one, it's sort of like completely smooth. Um, the texture on the inside of the Paperchase one is the same as on the outside. It's actually no, it's smoother. It's not pebbled, but it still has this kind of leathery, synthetic leather feel to it. The Filofax one is also the same material as on the outside, but it has this sort of nylon fabric lining, whereas the Paperchase one has the same synthetic leather lining here. So I'd say in terms of quality, the main issue is this that sort of fraying, like the unfinished look to the pockets. Other than that, it's just a matter of design. And the Paperchase pockets are certainly fine. I don't have that much in them at the moment because I'm just setting this up, and most of my stickers are too big for them, so I've just put them in here. Then if we move on to the rings, the Filofax rings are definitely bigger. So let's see if I can just get them side by side here. Let's see, these are the, sorry, things are falling out. These are the Paperchase rings, and these are the Filofax rings. So there you have them side by side. So I think you can see these ones are definitely smaller. Which may or may not be an issue. I think it's not necessarily a problem. It's not like these are tiny, but they actually feel to me more like the compact size rings, I would say, because James has got he's got a compact, and I was looking at that, and I think that the ring size is probably comparable. So I don't know what size they are in millimeters. Would they be 15, I guess? And this is 20 maybe? I'm guessing, I could be wrong about that. Or maybe it's 10 and 15, but these ones are definitely smaller, that's the point. Okay, so in terms of ring quality, with both of my Paperchase planners, I haven't had this one this long, but there are no problems with the rings, and with the one that I've had for longer as well, the rings seem fine. So as far as I can tell, in terms of ring quality, I don't think that there's really a difference between them and Filofax. Long term, I'm not sure. It could be that they don't hold up as well. But I can't say. So far, I hadn't had any problems with them. Then when we move on to the inserts, there's some other big differences. So first of all, when you get the Paperchase planner, it doesn't have a flyleaf. I stole this from one of James's Filofaxes. So I think no flyleaf, to me, that's a big issue because I really like having a plastic flyleaf, and it doesn't come with that. It comes with this kind of dashboard, which I've decorated. So when you get it, it just says Paperchase 2015-2016. And that's what it comes with. So obviously the Filofax comes with the plastic flyleaf, and this James has put he's put a postcard and some washi tape over it, so you can't really see it, but the plastic flyleaf is underneath here. So and then after that you get the the piece of paper that says Filofax on it, which is kind of the equivalent to this, but the Filofax one is just paper, whereas this is cardstock. So it's quite nice. Like, this is good as a dashboard, I think. It just would be nice if it had the flyleaf, but you can order the flyleaf separately on Amazon, the Filofax flyleaf, so it's not like a huge issue. Then I should warn you, by the way, that James has really personalized his Filofax, so it's not like this. I can't show it to you just like what it would look like, out of the packaging, because some stuff has been changed, but I can tell you what the differences are. And I'm sure a lot of you probably already know anyway because you've got Filofaxes. So the tabs on the Paperchase planner are made out of this like kind of silky cardstock, the same as the front dashboard. It's white, and it's quite thick, and like I said, sort of glossy, silky, and they're labeled. And the labels are in like kind of the typical sort of like trademark Paperchase colors. And I think that this is a sort of I guess, a subjective thing, because I personally like having unlabeled dividers so that I, can do whatever I want with them. And this one, you're kind of stuck unless you cover them up. So you've got information, agenda, planner, diary, addresses, and notes. And so not only do you have to put your inserts in that order if you want to be able to use the tabs, but it kind of tells you what you should have in each of those. It's like agenda, information. Some of them I'm not even really sure what information is for. I'll show you what the inserts look like in a second. But yeah, the point is that it can be kind of restrictive. Although if you like having them already labeled, and it's nice having the colors, then that could be a plus. So, it's just personal preference, because if you look at the Filofax labels, they're numbered, but that's it. So you can put your inserts in whatever order you want. You could put the calendar in the beginning, you could put the calendar at the end. It doesn't matter, because all you have is the numbers. Um, if you order Filofax dividers on Amazon, they sometimes, the ones that I've ordered, are completely unnumbered, so like they're totally blank. I don't mind having the numbers. I think it can be useful having the numbers, because then at least you've got something, sort of a reference point, but you don't actually, it's not prescriptive. Um, in terms of quality, the Filofax ones are a bit, they're thinner and they're not glossy. So they're kind of more like thin cardstock or like thick paper, I guess. And the tabs are sort of very lightly laminated, whereas the Paperchase ones are a bit, I think I don't know if they're not really laminated. I wouldn't say, they're just kind of like made out of a more plasticky material, so they are quite durable. So I think in terms of quality, these are nice. It depends on what you like as well, because these are kind of bright white, whereas the Filofax ones, depending on which size you get, I think sometimes they're blue and green, and sometimes they're sort of like creamy color. Um, so yeah, if you want to decorate these, they're good. The one thing about them that I've noticed is that they sort of scratch easily. So if you I don't know, like if you put a book on this or something, it might leave an indentation, like a sort of gray mark from the book, which is something to do with the type of paper, whereas these ones won't do that. So if we move on, I've just put some Filofax organizers in here. They don't come with them. Then it's got this sheet for personal data, which I assume is what they mean by information. Oh, and the tabs are double-sided, by the way, which is useful, because the one thing that you can do with this, I mean, this is the only sort of flexibility that you get with these tabs, is that if you wanted to turn them over, you could have notes at the top and information at the bottom, and then like addresses, diary, planner, agenda. So you could have them going in the opposite order to how they go, because these are completely double-sided. So you can, I'll just show you what I mean. If you took this and turned it upside down, you could still read it, but this would be one of the bottom ones. So there is a little bit of flexibility, but you have to go in the order that they've set. And I thought, as long as I have to do that, I might as well just keep the order that they have, because I wouldn't really want to have notes at the beginning followed by addresses. But that's up to you. That's some flexibility. So yeah, I assume that that's what information's for, and I guess you could put any other information-y type stuff in here that you wanted to. And then we have agenda, and I'm assuming, I'm not really sure what they mean by a lot of these titles, so I've kind of tried to work it out based on the order that the inserts came in, because the inserts came, all in a bundle after the tabs. So they have, like Filofax, it comes with the tabs at the beginning all together, and then all the inserts. So I'm not necessarily sure that this is what they had in mind, but I'm guessing that by agenda they want you to include this 2015-2016 calendar. This is another major difference, by the way, is that the Paperchase planner, at least this one, is an 18-month mid-year calendar. So it starts at the end of June 2015 and it runs all the way until the beginning of January 2017. Whereas the Filofax ones, as far as I know, I've never seen a mid-year version. I think they're always the whole of 1 year, so 2015. So if you bought it now, let's say in June, you'd kind of be missing out half the year. You'd have to get rid of the first 6 months worth of inserts. So that's another thing that can be nice if you want to buy a planner in the summer, is that Paperchase ones are all 15-16. So you have the 15-16 calendar, and then you have dates. And this is something nice. This is something that you don't get in the Filofax inserts. It's just got a couple of pages of important dates. So I've just written in like our anniversary and a friend's birthday. You have like 4 pages for that. So I think that's quite nice. And the other thing, I guess, is this calendar on the Filofax inserts, which James has got rid of, so I can't show them to you. But the Filofax insert, the year calendar, because it's just a 1-year diary, it would just have 2015 on one page. The other thing that's different is the paper quality. So I'd say that Paperchase is slightly thicker. I think that the Filofax, the standard Filofax inserts are 70 GSM paper. These ones I'm guessing are 80. They feel like sort of normal photocopy paper. So they're not like thick, but they're slightly thicker than the Filofax ones. Other than that, really the only difference is the font and the layout. We bring it a little bit closer. This is the Paperchase font, which is very different to the Filofax font. Just show you that there. But again, that's just a matter of personal preference. I'd say in quality they're pretty similar. So then the other thing that's nice in the Paperchase one is that they give you this timetable. So you have timetable, and then you've got time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it goes through the whole week, and you get 3 pages of that, which I think is really nice, because if you have a teaching schedule or a study schedule, that's really a convenient thing to have, and Filofax doesn't come with that. Then you move on to the next tab, which is planner. I'm not going through the Filofax in the same way, because it doesn't have these kind of divisions. It just gives you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tabs, and then it gives you the inserts. And so far, Filofax up until now, we've only had the calendar insert. It's got some other inserts as well that I'll talk about afterwards. Then you get another nice touch in the Paperchase planner, which is this like sort of running vertical calendar, and I really like these. I think that this is a great feature, and you can get one of these for Filofax, but it's separate. You have to order it separately, and it's either you can get this kind, which is like sort of tabbed, and it's got 1 month per page, which is a nice one, but you have to order it separately. It's not included. Or they have a fold-out one, which I find really annoying, because I like to have everything here and not have to fold it out. But they don't come included. So this just comes with it. I think that's a nice touch. And then you get that for all of 2015, all of 2016. And then the next tab on here is the diary tab. Oh, okay, so this is another difference. The Paperchase planners don't come with a ruler. So I think that's something really nice about Filofax, is that it come with this detachable ruler, because this is just so useful for you know, for marking the day that you're on. So again, I stole this from James. It doesn't come with a ruler of any kind. It's not a big thing, but it's just something to note. Then I just put in these name and address pages to use, because the diary hasn't actually started yet. It starts on the 25th of June. But the diary inserts for the personal size and the A5 size actually are the same. It's just the A5 size is bigger. They've got the same Paperchase font, and they just give you the date. This is a week on 2 pages. So you have the date and you have some lines, no times. And Saturday and Sunday, as in many planners, are squished. So I think this is fine for my purposes. This is fine because this isn't my main work planner, so I don't really need times or anything. Otherwise, if I did, it would be annoying. But the Filofax week on 2 pages planners that come with the personal size are pretty much the same as this. James has actually replaced them with day on a page, which comes with times. I'm not sure if you can get those for Paperchase. I think that they might have them as a separate, because you can buy separate Paperchase inserts. So they might have something equivalent to these with times, day per page. But the ones that it comes with are not like this. But these are pretty similar If you order the Filofax, it will come with inserts that are similar to this, except obviously for the design. So then you've got this that goes up till the beginning of January 2017, like I said. And one thing that annoys me about this is really petty, but when it finishes on this side of the page, and then they start the name and address section right on the other side of the page, which I don't understand, because if you're going to have a tab in the middle, then like why would you want to have this random, you know, like stray address page on your calendar? It's almost like they, you know, were trying to economize and they didn't want to print a blank page. But that just kind of bugs me because I don't want this to be here, and there's no way to get rid of it unless I just took out this last diary page, which probably would be fine because presumably when the next year came out, it would cover this, it would have these dates on it, so I could do that, but I don't want to yet just in case it doesn't, and so that kind of annoys me, but it's a very small thing. Whereas Filofax doesn't do that, it just, you get to the end of the year and then it finishes. Then Paperchase has got these name and address sections, which are different from the Filofax ones. The Filofax ones say contacts, and they have like name, address, email, phone number, that sort of thing. These are just blank, which I think is actually nicer because then you can use them for something else if you want to. Like you could cover this up with washi. You know, you can use it for lists or something. So this is actually, I think, more useful than the Filofax ones. So you get a few of those, and then the last tab is notes, and they give you few different kinds of note paper. So they have this lined paper that says notes. You get a few sheets of that, quite a few sheets. Then you get some grid paper, and then you get some blank, like kind of peach paper and some lined turquoise paper. Filofax, by contrast, gives you a whole bunch of other things. So they give you a couple of sheets of a to-do list. So you have lines and then you have like tick boxes at the side, which I really like. I like the to-do lists. Here they are. I think these are actually the cotton cream inserts because the paper is a bit thicker. So you have to-do. So these, I'm not sure if these were the ones that came with it, the cotton cream, but it's the same design anyway, even if the paper is different. And then you also get some of this grid paper. And then you get some lined note paper in different colors. I think only a couple of sheets of each in the personal size, and James has taken them out, but they do come with it. So those inserts are slightly different, and I like the Filofax ones a bit better because I like the to-do list, and I like their colored paper a bit better. And I think that the Filofax inserts come with some blank plain paper, whereas this comes with blank colored paper. But you know, it's pretty comparable, I'd say, in terms of quantity and quality. It's just sort of personal preference. And then the Paperchase one finishes with this piece of paper, which is just like an ordinary piece of paper. It's not any thicker, and it says Paperchase. And this is one of the other things that annoys me about the Paperchase planner is that it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have fly leaves. So Filofax would come with 2 fly leaves normally. I think one in the front and one at the back. The A5 definitely does. I'm not sure about the personal. I assume it does as well. And also, then it comes with a top-loading envelope. So Paperchase doesn't have a top-loading envelope, and it doesn't have anything to protect the back. It doesn't have, you know, plastic flyleaf or anything. I bought this one separately and put it in because from Filofax I was really used to having a top-loading envelope, and I like it for, you know, putting sticky notes and stuff in. Then if we look at the back, again, for the Filofax, this will vary depending on the model. But for the Saffiano, it has this kind of like note pocket. So it's sort of like a flap that's open at the top and the bottom, and you can put in sticky notes or a notepad. I'm not sure if it comes with a notepad. The Paperchase one actually came with a notepad, which was like kind of this, it's the same size as the inserts. It's lined. And it's punched as well. So you could use that note paper and put them in your planner to replace some of the note paper. I've taken it out and I put these in, which came from my Happy Scrappy May kit because I like them. So this is the thing, a design difference, and again, it will depend on which Filofax you get because there are lots of different models. So this particular one, the Saffiano, doesn't have a pocket, but other ones do. But in this case, I like the back of the Paperchase a bit better because it's got this full pocket which you could use to put stickers in and stuff, rather than just a sort of flap that you can only use for sticky notes, basically. And then on the back is pretty similar, except for the Paperchase one has the Paperchase logo on the back, which I like. I think it's pretty. The Filofax one is blank on the back, but has the Filofax logo on the side. The straps are pretty similar here, extremely similar. And the only other issue is pen loops. So in the personal size, the Paperchase pen loop comes on the inside of the strap, which I like. I think that's kind of cool. Because you don't see it that often, or at least I haven't. It's not elasticated. It's made out of synthetic leather, and it's reasonably small. So this pen, which is a 0.38, and this came in my Happy Scrappy subscription kit again, fits in fine. But I wouldn't really be able to get anything much thicker in. Let's see, this Muji pen just fits in. This is also 0.38, but it's a bit thicker. So this is a pretty thin pen, and it kind of just fits. So that is kind of an issue, I guess, is that the pen loop is a bit small, but it's not insurmountable. It just means that I'm, for the first time ever, not using an erasable pen in this, which is kind of scary, but it's okay. So that's the Paperchase planner. That's the other thing about this elastic, this magnetic snap, is that usually it works quite easily, but sometimes you kind of miss it, so it sort of half closes. This one has got an elasticated pen loop on the outside here. I've talked about this before, how the Filofax elasticated pen loops are not really that elastic, so you can't fit much more than this kind of a pen. So again, you can't fit a friction pen in here, but it is a little bit wider than this one. And then because you've got this here, you can put another pen in there. So that's basically it. And I'm just going to show you as a kind of bonus some features of the A5 that are different from the personal size. So basically, the differences between Paperchase and the Filofax are the same in the A5 as what I've talked about for the personal size. You know, the top loading envelope, the inserts, the fly leaves, etc. But they're just a couple of design features that are different. So for the A5, you still have this full-length pocket instead of a secretarial pocket, and you have the same issue with the finishing. See how this is, I'll move these out of the way, with this card slot, this like kind of piece of string is coming off, and again, like, it's been like this since the beginning, so you can immediately see that the quality is not that great compared to the Filofax. This is a Saffiano, which has a secretarial pocket, and it has these slit pockets, which are much better finished. They're better quality. But the Paperchase has a see-through pocket, which is nice because you could put a picture in or some stickers, and then it also has a zip pocket, which I personally have never used. This one I don't keep a lot of decorating materials in this, but I could see that this could be useful, definitely, if you wanted to keep some stuff securely in it. So I think that's the sort of the main difference that you don't see in the personal size. And I guess the other thing is that the pen loop is kind of, instead of being on the strap, it's sort of like right next to the strap. It's again not elasticated. Whereas in the A5 Saffiano, just the same as in the personal size, the pen loop is elasticated and it's on the left inside cover. So I hope that was helpful if you're trying to decide between Paperchase and Filofax. Another thing that I didn't mention, but which is kind of obvious, is that of course with the Paperchase planners you get these awesome designs. I really, really love this design, and this is something that no Filofax model has. None of them have, like kind of decorative um, illustrations on the cover, except I guess the cover story. Um, so if you're looking for a sort of a ringed planner for a really good price, and you like the Paperchase decoration style, I'd say Paperchase is definitely worth it. It's a lot cheaper than Filofax, and it has these these kind of few issues, but I think overall it's really good value for what you pay. But of course, Filofax is awesome as well. So I can't really choose between them. I love them both. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.